Today's briefing is about urgency and precision. We have active exploitation in the wild, a flaw that can leak private container images without a login, a malicious NPM package targeting AI data directories, and a fresh national snapshot of internet crime. If you secure dev platforms, web apps, or cloud pipelines, these updates will help you prioritize patching, hardening, and monitoring for the week ahead. First, daily trends. Multiple vulnerabilities are being actively exploited or are highly likely to attract immediate attacker attention, and several vendors have pushed new patches and advisories. The context is straightforward. When exploit code and patches appear close together, timelines compress. Key facts here are the simultaneous signals. Real-world exploitation is being reported, and vendors are issuing fixes across product lines. This matters because exposure windows shrink. Lagging a patch cycle can mean compromise. For defenders, tighten your triage. Prioritize externally exposed services, authentication front-ends, and high-value middleware. Enable virtual patching or WAF rules where you can't patch immediately. And increase log scrutiny around newly disclosed CVEs. Gitea vulnerability exposes private container images without authentication. Gitea, an open-source self-hosted version control platform, is affected by CVE-2026-27771 in versions prior to 1.26.2. The key fact: unauthenticated remote attackers can pull private container images from Gitea deployments with no account or credentials. That turns what should be an internal asset into easy pickings for code theft, secrets exposure inside images, and supply chain tampering. This matters because image registries often contain proprietary code and embedded configuration that can enable follow-on attacks. For defenders, upgrade Gitea to 1.26.2 or later immediately. Restrict registry access paths at the network layer. Review access logs for anomalous pulls from unknown IPs. Rotate secrets that may be embedded in images, and consider relocating sensitive images to a separate, tightly controlled registry. Knowledge deliver flaw exploited as a zero-day to install web shells. Attackers leveraged a critical, previously unknown vulnerability in a server running the knowledge deliver learning management system to deploy the Godzilla web shell. The key facts are active exploitation and post-compromise persistence via a known web shell, which implies remote command execution and long-term footholds. This matters because web shells provide reliable, covert access for data theft and lateral movement, and a zero-day means some environments may still lack vendor patches. For defenders, assume internet-facing knowledge deliver servers are at heightened risk. Scan for suspicious files and processes associated with Godzilla and prepare for follow-on incident response. The takeaway: act quickly, prioritize patching, and stay vigilant. Review recent uploads and modified web directories, isolate affected hosts, and apply any available mitigations. If patches are not yet available, contain exposure behind a reverse proxy, enforce strict IP allow lists, and add WAF rules to block common web shell patterns while you hunt for indicators of compromise. Malicious NPM package stole files from a Claude AI user directory via GitHub. Researchers identified an NPM package named mouse5212 superformatter with information stealing behavior. The package attempts to upload files from /mnt user data, a directory used by Anthropic's Claude AI tool to handle uploads and outputs in the background. The key facts are clear. This is a supply chain threat in the NPM ecosystem with explicit targeting of a well-known AI tool's data path, creating risk for developers and CI runners that interact with Claude files. This matters because dev environments increasingly blend AI tooling with source code and credentials. A single compromised dependency can quietly exfiltrate sensitive data from build agents or local machines. For defenders, immediately audit for any presence of mouse5212 superformatter. Remove it if found, and rotate affected credentials. Lock down package installation with allow lists, pin exact versions, and enable integrity checks. In CI and GitHub workflows, restrict outbound network egress, scan dependencies pre-merge, and segregate AI-related data paths so that untrusted packages cannot read or exfiltrate them. FBI's 2025 Internet Crime Report. The latest annual report was published a few weeks ago and compiles statistics on internet-enabled crime. While we won't dive into numbers here, the headline context is an official snapshot of complaint-driven trends and losses across the past year. The key fact is availability, a current authoritative dataset for baseline understanding of the threat landscape. This matters because teams can use it to align risk assumptions, user education, and budget requests to documented realities rather than anecdotes. For defenders, Carve out time to review the report and map its categories to your control coverage, phishing and fraud training, and incident playbooks. Update tabletop scenarios to reflect the most prevalent schemes and ensure your detection rules and user awareness materials match the current tactics. To wrap up, prioritize patching and compensating controls where exploits are active, close the Gitea registry gap, root out risky NPM dependencies, and use the new crime statistics to tune your defenses. If this helped you focus your week, subscribe, share it with your team, and drop a comment with what you want covered next.